Psychology of karma. So, in this video, I'll talk about karma, its definition and meaning, the reasons why people believe in karma, and finally, the effects of believing in karma, which are both positive as well as negative. So, what is karma? The word karma comes from Eastern philosophy, particularly Hinduism and Buddhism, and it has been sort of incorporated into the English language. And nowadays, people all around the world uh, who speak English as well as other languages have adopted this word. So, what does it mean? Karma basically means a supernatural force of justice. So, it's a belief that there's this force in the universe that maintains justice in the universe. If not now, but eventually it does sort of establish justice. So, its main tenet is that all good is eventually rewarded and all bad eventually punished. So, if you see people doing good, they gain good karma. If people do bad, they get bad karma. So those karma points that they're getting, whether positive or negative, that will eventually come back to bite them in the future. That's the whole idea behind it. That it is the deeds and actions you do today, you may not get immediately rewarded or punished, but soon, karma will catch up. Eventually you will have to pay for what you've done, or you'll be rewarded for what you've done. You can't escape karma. That's the whole idea. If I do good, good will happen to me. If I do bad, bad will happen to me. So the fundamental idea behind karma is that what happens to me is largely based on what I do, the morality of my actions, the ethics of what I'm doing determines what will happen to me in the future. So, why do people believe in karma? So, obviously, there is some kernel of truth in the fact that the way you behave with other people will determine the way they behave with you. If you're good with people, they are very likely to be good to you in return. So, that is the fundamental of human nature in social groups. It's the fundamental principle of reciprocity, that when you do something good for someone, they feel indebted to you, and then they try to do good to you so that they don't feel like you've done something extra for them. They sort of balance the relationship. That's how relationships work. There is balance in the relationships, a balance of give and take. So, but this happens only in human social groups, and of course some other mammals where group living is very important. So you can find some reciprocity there. But in karma, people think that the universe is a person. They ascribe agency to the universe. They apply the same principles of reciprocity that they apply in their social group to the universe. But we all know that the universe is not a person. The universe does not have agency. It is impersonal. It doesn't care about your good or bad actions. So, thinking that the universe is a person, we try to we do good, and we feel that we have done this good for the universe, and then that universe will be pleased with us, and then that universe will return the favor and do something nice for us, just like a friend, just as a friend would do. So this is also like at the root of the belief in karma, we believe that universe has some kind of reciprocal relationship with us, and that it has power over what happens to us. The other point is backward rationalization. A lot of times, things happen to us that we cannot explain. Because life is full of uncertainty, sometimes things happen to us that we are not able to immediately explain, especially if we believe in karma. For example, if you are a good person, you've been mostly good, you have done good things, you have donated to charity, you've helped people and everything. And if you believe in karma, and if you believe in karma and you do all of this, then you expect the universe to do good to you. But because the universe is not a person and you're not in a reciprocal relationship with the universe, occasionally some bad things may happen to you. And when they happen to you, you will be confused because you'll be like, I've done all this good. Why is this happening to me? I don't deserve this. All of this. So at that time, to make sense of that event, negative event that has happened to you, what you'll do is that you will do backward rationalization. You will not only do it to yourself, you will do it to other people if you believe in karma. What you'll do is that you'll connect the dots in reverse. You'll say, okay, this bad thing happened to me. Now let me scan my past and find out what bad I have done in my past. Okay, oh, that I was rude to that waiter 5 years ago. Maybe now I'm getting punished for that. Okay, it makes sense. So you sort of connect the dots in reverse to make sense of what's happening to you now. But the dots that you're connected, for example, for instance, if the present event is event B and the past event is event A, so you're drawing this line from B to A, but A has no logical relation with B. There is no way A could have led to B. It doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. So the whole connection is illogical. This might always not always be the case. Sometimes the connection between A and B might be logical, but the belief in karma sort of makes forces you to make these illogical connections. An example of a logical connection would be, for example, you deceived a friend 2 years ago and now they've sort of deceived you. Maybe there is some connection there. Your friend thought the last time you deceived them, they thought that they would deceive you if they get a chance in the future. So that's a logical connection. But usually the belief in karma promotes illogical connections of present events to past events. The next point is satisfying ego and the desire for justice. So we humans have this innate desire for justice, because injustice, unfairness, all of that is uncomfortable for our ego, and it's like it induces cognitive dissonance in us. We want good deeds to be rewarded and bad deeds to be punished. If that does not happen, that sort of disturbs us. So that plays a big role in the belief in karma. And when I'm talking about this thing satisfying ego, it's mostly when something bad happens to you from some other person, like some person does some evil thing to you and you're not able to retaliate immediately, or you're not able to fix the situation immediately. Believing that karma will take care of that person makes you feel better about yourself. It sorts of rests your soul. You are happy that eventually I know this person will suffer. So believing that satisfies your ego in the moment. It's not necessarily true. And if that person in the future gets caught in some problem, or gets like some tragedy befalls on that person, when that happens, you'll connect the dots in reverse and you'll say, oh, because this person did something bad to me 5 years ago, that's why he's suffering for that. So you'll again, at that time, you'll again, your ego will get boosted, even though what happened to the person has no logical connection to what they did to you. So all of these points sort of work together. The final point is reassurance for future. As I mentioned before, like, life is uncertain, and it's not true that good things happen only to good people and bad things happen only to bad people. Yeah, there's a probability that if you do good, good will happen to you. If you do bad, bad will happen to you. There's a probability of that, but it's not necessarily the case. And because life is uncertain, and we want reassurance for the future, we want some semblance of control over what happens to us in the future. So this idea that all I have to do is to just be nice. If I'm nice, the universe will be happy with me and smile upon me and bestow favors upon me. It's a very attractive idea, because now I don't have to secure my future. I don't have to work hard. I don't have to evaluate the risks of everything that I'm doing. I just have to be nice. If I'm nice, the universe will be nice to me. So my future is sort of, I feel reassured that my future will be nice. All I have to do is be just be nice. Now, The effects of the belief in karma. Of course, it has positive effects as well as negative effects. So you have to see, like, if you believe in karma, you have to see, are the positive effects like worth it for you to keep believing in it, or do you think it's impacting you in a negative way? So you can find that out in this section. So first of all, it encourages pro-social behaviors because, like I said, reciprocity is the fundamental of human nature. And if you're doing good for someone and they're not returning that good to you, or even worse, if they're doing bad to you, that sort of creates imbalance in your mind, and you are motivated not to help them. But if you believe in karma, you think that if I'm doing good for this person, eventually that good will come back to me. Okay, it's okay if it's not coming back to me right now, but eventually it will come back to me. So this makes me more likely to be pro-social in my social interactions. The next point is provides a sense of purpose. If what I'm doing is is impacting the universe, my future, obviously that makes everything that I do greater and grander than it really is. So that makes, that it induces everything I do with purpose. Increases optimism and resilience. This is connected to the previous point where I said that it helps you sort of, when you're connecting the dots in reverse, it helps you make sense of the negative or tragic life events that happen to you. Because see, if you love someone and that person dies in an accident, okay, and that person was a good person, like most of their lives they've only done good, but they just happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And the laws of a person is not the laws of physics and universe and science, they do not care how good of a person you are. If you happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time, you will have to face the consequences of being at the wrong place at the wrong time. So something happened, maybe they slipped on a banana peel. I give this example in my article, that if it doesn't matter how good your thoughts are or how good you've been all day long, like at 5 p.m. you might be walking down the street and there might be a banana peel on the street, and you step on it and you slip on it, and then you hit your head on a rock and you die. Like it can, like, it's completely possible. Like there's nothing unfair about it, because that's how physics works. Like your being a good person has does not increase the friction between the banana peel and the street. The reduced friction will still be there, that will cause you to slip and fall. So it has nothing to do with how good you are as a person. So when these negative events or traumatic events happen and we have to make sense of them, being able to connect the dots in reverse and thinking that, okay, because of this bad thing that I did, that's why this thing is happening, it gives us a sense of control over what happened, and we are sort of able to move on. We're sort of able to, because dealing with trauma is all about processing it and making sense of it. And belief in karma can sort of help you process it and make sense of it by attributing causes that are usually illogical to the current negative or traumatic events. And you're able to move on. You made sense of your trauma, now you're able to move on. So that can definitely help. And finally, it curbs revengeful behavior, because if you believe in karma and someone does something wrong to you, instead of taking revenge, you'll think that, okay, I'm not taking the revenge, I'll let karma do its job. So that curbs revengeful behavior. And also, if you are revengeful, you're doing bad, you're doing something bad, and then karma might like hit you instead of that person because you were revengeful. So it works that way too. And now the negative effects of karma. So first of all, it creates unnecessary guilt and shame, because when something bad happens to you, instead of understanding why that bad thing happened, you blame yourself. You think that the events you that the bad things, supposedly bad things that you did, are causing this current negative event that you're going through. But that in most cases that's simply not true. So you blame yourself and you like feel this unnecessary guilt and shame, because you are unnecessarily blaming yourself for things that are happening to you, when things that are happening to you may have absolutely nothing to do with your moral character or your like ethical behavior. The second point is inaccurate perception of reality, because uh, you're not understanding what's happening to you, how it should be understood in its present context without connecting it to your past actions. You're Because you're not perceiving reality correctly now, you're not understanding your problem correctly now, you have this distorted perception of reality. Because you have a distorted perception of reality, that automatically leads to impaired problem solving, because the problem was created by karma and what you did in the past. So there's probably nothing you can do right now to fix that problem if you think this way. But if you ditch the belief in karma for a while and you understand what is happening to you and why, most importantly, why is it happening to you, like not personalizing the reasons it's happening to you, and understanding the circumstances that led to this problem that you're currently facing. You might be involved, you may have a small part in what's happening to you, but not as big of a part as karma would have you believe. So when you have understood what's happening to you and why it's happening to you right now, when you have the accurate perception of that, then you can solve your problem much more easily. So karma sort of uh, clouds your thinking and makes you irrational in that sense. And finally, victim blaming. So this is the opposite, sort of this same thing like self blaming but applied to other people. So if something bad happens to you, happens to someone, they're a victim of something, some kind of abuse or something, and then you scan their past instead of scanning your past. In this case, you scan their past and tell them, oh, 3 years ago you did that, now you are paying for that, now obviously you deserve to suffer. You obviously, this is very offensive to the victim, and they might have absolutely no role to play in what's happening to them. And even if they did have some role to play, it might be a very small role compared to what karma would have you believe. So these are the, I think, in my opinion, I think these negative effects sort of outweigh all the positive benefits you get from believing in karma. Because if you want to be resilient, if you want to really heal from your traumatic experiences, you don't have to heal in an irrational way. You can heal in a much more realistic and rational way. You don't have to resort to irrational things to heal yourself. So in my opinion, I think these negative effects of karma are much worse than any good that it can bring. That's it for this video. Thanks for watching.